Anna Jones moved into their New Jersey home, they soon found out that they were sharing their property with something particularly strange. In fact, there, buried in the backyard, was another separate home. However, as they explored this new discovery, they realized that it hadn't been built with full-sized adults in mind. In 2000, the Jones family bought a large property close to the coast of Brick, New Jersey. Equipped with its own cabana as well as rooms for guests, the home certainly came with plenty of space. However, there was one aspect of their new property that was somewhat smaller in size. Tucked away in the backyard was a single-story ranch-style cottage built out of bricks. As well as one bedroom, a bathroom, and a living room, the property boasted a working fireplace, a dine-in kitchen, and even its own outdoor pool. However, charming as it was, the Jones extra house came with one tiny catch. Even Anna, who stands at just 5 feet 3 inches tall, was far too large to fit inside. In fact, the property was seemingly designed for inhabitants no more than 3.5 feet in height. Inside, they found the tiny property boasted all the conveniences one would expect to find in a modern home. Indeed, it was supplied with running water and working electricity, while wall-to-wall carpets kept it cozy and snug. What's more, the house even came with a miniature table, chairs, and a bed for its diminutive occupants. Soon, Anna learned that several local legends had grown up surrounding the property. "You see, people don't think it's my house," she explained in a 2015 interview with Weird New Jersey, "because it's on its own lot, so they just think it's a separate entity." Intrigued by the mystery house, locals had subsequently begun to speculate on who might live in such a strange place. According to Anna, some people believed that it was once inhabited by performers who worked for a nearby circus. Apparently, others thought that a family of little people still lived there to this day. Yet, despite the colorful legends, however, Anna soon discovered the truth about the tiny house. Apparently, back in the 1960s, the owners of the property had constructed the buildings as a playhouse for their visiting grandchildren. However, as the youngsters grew up and the property was sold, the little cottage's original purpose was soon forgotten. Unfortunately, the Jones' own children were never able to enjoy their own adventures in the playhouse. In fact, when Anna was asked if her family had ever used the building, she admitted that she'd been too nervous to let her kids play inside. "We wanted them to," Anna said, "but I didn't think it's safe for them because I never knew what was inside." Sadly, the little house has become a target for criminals over the years, with parties and even college hazing ceremonies taking place within its tiny walls. Anna also found herself the target of thieves who would sometimes help themselves to a souvenir from the playhouse, such as chairs, wooden flowers, and even the front door. Then, after one late-night party, a window was smashed with a bottle. Forced to replace the glass, Anna was left $400 out of pocket. Yet, despite the expense, the Jones family initially planned to renovate the playhouse in their backyard. However, in 2012, Hurricane Sandy hit and had a major impact on their lives. Sadly, the storm caused some $78,000 worth of damages to the Jones main house. What's more, the tiny cottage didn't fare much better. As the hurricane battered the eastern United States, the lagoon across the street from the Jones property began to swell. Eventually, it burst through the playhouse, causing extensive damage to both the contents and the structure of the building. After the storm, the playhouse was left in such a bad state that it required $10,000 worth of repairs. However, with so much damage having been done to their main house, the Jones family was unable to find the cash. Instead, the building had to be left as it was, a mere shadow of its former glory. For a long time after the hurricane, the property known as the Brick Midget House remained neglected and forlorn. Inside, the carpets were covered in trash and dead leaves. Worse still, the building had become infested with bugs, putting the owners off of venturing inside at all. Although the family still decorated the house for special occasions such as Christmas and Halloween, their fondness for it began to fade. In fact, they began to consider selling the property, hoping that its status as a local landmark might attract potential buyers. However, it would not be a simple sale. "I can't subdivide the lot," Anna explained, "so if somebody wanted to buy this, they'd have to excavate it and pick it up and take it. So if some eccentric person has nothing better to do with their money..." Initially, Anna advertised the property for sale on her Facebook page, testing the waters to see if it piqued anyone's interest. Later, she listed it on a local auction site with a starting price of $10,000. However, even though she's had some enquiries, she has yet to find a new owner for the house. Although Anna claims that she'd not miss the tiny house if it was sold, it's clear that not all of Brick's residents agree. Some of the neighbors, I would say, feel a little differently. She confessed in an interview with NJ.com. This is like a landmark and they don't want it to go. Meanwhile, Anna's given the house a makeover, sprucing up the damaged interior. In fact, she's even branched out into merchandise, selling t-shirts emblazoned with an illustration of the famous property. However, will this much-loved landmark remain in brick, or will a new owner appear to whisk it away? It remains to be seen.